What if we didn't attack at all? Can we reflect our way to victory with a pacifist build? And what happens when you have a dense ball, a relic that makes all balls dense, and you stack that with bounce and magnets? Will it stack? Is it gonna be insane? Will it counteract itself? Who knows? Okay, we can reflect damage if we have bulwark, so we're going for some kind of bulwark build and hopefully just watch them slap themselves silly. Sounds fun. If we can make it work. So immediately I want to do only that. I don't want to do any damage myself. I don't want to throw any rocks. I don't want to stab anyone with a spear. I don't want bombs. All I want is a massive amount of bulwark so that they will fall over when they touch me. And I can pretend to be a pacifist. Just stand here with my shield, watch them reflect, and get dunked. He has 1 health. Immediately the first dude has slapped my shield and fallen over, and he's now used a stomp on the floor. So far 100% success rate, the best build ever invented. Totally all on me, of course, because it was not just a random relic I got from the start. Now I only have 1 bulwark left though, so let's just nuke him with the big old bomb. They are always effective. So what do we need? A sword? Not really. Bounce. Okay, bounce has been amazing lately. Just the fact that you can have a ball on the way out of the map, just hit randomly a wall or a bouncer and go back in play. Very nice, and makes for some cool shenanigans. Hitting things that you have no business hitting, including bombs and refreshes and stuff, which I only have 1 here again. We're on Crucible 8, which shouldn't be super hard, but I'm not super good at the game either, so maybe it's a good enough challenge. Can we bounce up into it? We bounce way past it and out the map. Amazing. Good job, Balladin. Need to work on your ball throws. I mean, he has ball in the name. He should be the most apt at this. Okay, I'm gonna hit every other peg on the entire map before I hit the refresh. We got another reflect, I think. It's cool. And now we're out of shields. We can spare both of these dudes though. So not... What's up with these shots? Come on, my dude. Hit the board. That's all I'm asking. Just hit the board, a couple of pegs. An average, reasonable amount of pegs. It's not a big ask. Can be done. And then we spear the face of that guy. Nothing bulwarky yet. We need bosses, we need Haglin, wherever he happens to live today. Bosses we have plenty of, that's nice. Well, I don't know if it's nice, because I have no idea if I can survive a boss with my build of absolutely nothing. 1 tiny so we can reflect 25 damage total, and that's it. Nice, very strong. Can kill a half-dead slime, or a 1/3 of a bat. I can rip 1 wing off with my shield, somehow. Don't ask me how that works. Right, can we snipe a bat? Well, we have a bomb, so we don't need to snipe a bat. We can explode a bat, then we can make bat soup. Are there some magical properties to that? They're gonna make me more bouncy, because I would be half flying if I've eaten part of a bat. That big collection of bosses we had on the map, I never wanted to go there in the first place anyway. We're going to Slime Town instead, with a side of bat, but we just made bat soup, so I think the bats, we know how to deal with them already. And we still need to find anything bulwark related. Although at this point, when what I have is my rocks, a bounce relic, and the spear, well, you don't need anything when you have bombs, it turns out. Nuke a pebble, boost a spear, very cool, super useful. That's a spicy bounce that almost missed me the shot. We can get in a circle, we can get the bomb explosion thing. We can get extra health, we can remove a ball. Okay, what do we want though? Overflow? A dense ball. We have dense and we have bounce. Are they going to counteract each other? Or will one override the other? That's a fun thing to see how that plays out. So the dense balls, that's like bold orb and similar. They will not bounce a whole lot, they will just sort of flop out of the map at the first possible option they have. So if we make them bounce, either nothing will happen, or will it be like, is this the Pinocchio thing where they can now, rather than being a dense ball, they can be a real ball with actual bounce mechanics and stuff. Let's see how it works. It had overflow anyway, so surely it's useful. 6 damage on a crit already. Doesn't seem that dense to me. Or maybe I'm just getting enough bombs that it doesn't matter. And we're not gonna... It's big damage, but we're not gonna fire it because we had so many bombs that ball made itself irrelevant. That's always fun. We need to come back to bounce and bombs as well. That just launched me into the flames. Thankfully we had all our bulwark left, and it didn't matter. Okay, we start with 10 bulwark, very nice. We can tank the plant, that was a terrible hammer. I'm now seeing the downside of the dents. That hit 2 pegs, fell through, and basically did nothing else. He had enough damage for that plant anyway, and we are tanky enough that this is fine. Spear, sphere, now going to 2 extra targets, so that should be very useful. And again, bombs. We don't need balls when we have bombs. All the balls are obsolete in favor of the explodey bomb boys. This looks like a job for the sphere when we have 3 of them on one line. Should be able to hit all of them. Got a couple of bombs again. But this time we actually need the ball. Amazing job. More of that. And can the dense hammer boy do something as well? I reflected a decent chunk to that spider. We got 1 more deflect kill, very cool. Need to be farming as many of those as possible. That's the real challenge here. How many kills can we get with the angry letter box reflect thing that we have in the corner? We also have some, 9 damage on the hammer. It's pretty good, right? And even though it's dense on this map, there's enough pegs, he's gonna go through fine. That bat has been entirely disintegrated and there is nothing left of him but a little bit of dust on the floor, maybe. And then we need to deal with the slime, but he basically deleted himself by slapping me twice, and then I got a sphere between his eyeballs. We got a bulwark ball finally, incredible. We really need this to make the build work. It's still going to take me 1,000 years to ramp up any real shield number. 12. Reflecting 50 is fine. And how many shields do we get? The slime pegs, of course, do not count as pegs. They are just leftover particles of the giant slime man in front of me. Don't want to think of where they came from specifically. But they don't count. So, ramping up anything that requires pegs hit when you're against this dude, very hard. But we brought the House of Slime to fight the slime. Fight slime with slime is an old, big brain goblin saying that works wonders. We got a nice bounce on the dense boy, and it was not enough to delete Slime Overlord. But we got the hammer back. Cool. Round 2, hammer, go. Bombs, lots of pegs, and hammer splat. Nice. We want a sword as well. Could we get just the weapons build? Ballens, magnet, or Haglin's random rare balls. I'm not sold on the magnet, but it can be fun, so let's just take it. So is it going to rip me out of the map, or is it going to help me hit 1,000 pegs to really deal with everything effectively? You never know, it's a big gamble. I am expecting it to be more trouble than good, but the other options were really not that interesting either. So we have our shield ball now, and the shield stacks are happening, but these dudes don't have any ranged attacks, so maybe we will just slap them out of existence before they get to me. One thing that the magnet is good for though is to get the refresh, which I have 2 now technically with the... No, I still have 1. My refresh is also a crit, not the other way around. Either way, that's one of the things that the magnet helps with. But we have our spear and we have the hammer, which also, well, if it does more damage than what one dude can handle, it will continue into the next guy. So we actually have 2 piercing balls. But really what I want is the reflect damage. Should I just be throwing my orbs out of the map so I don't do too much damage to these dudes? And he dunked himself out of existence. Amazing. Zombie Haglin shows up to absorb a ball. Always appreciate that, even if it costs me some of my health. And a decoy goblin face strapped around a ball, a rock probably. Very nice. So the duel of the century. First we need to hit him with a spear, then he should change to his shield. I'll be honest and say I don't fully know how he works. If anyone knows, you could educate me maybe. But now we shall see who is the better at reflecting damage. I hit him for 330, he reflected 6 back to me, and I then reflected 70 back to him. That's a fun loop. Sadly, I can't really generate more shield, so he is spooling up while I'm kinda spent already. But we also deal enough damage that it doesn't really matter. We will slap him with a hammer, or a spear, or a shield. We have way more weapons than he has. And there we go. We dunked him and he's on the floor with everyone else. A duplication potion. Okay, this is mostly good for the crit now, because that will move. My refresh will not, but maybe we can find that thing also. Another Haglin accepting a ball. Okay, they have really improved the ball removal service in the castle. Okay, this guy was not happy with the first fight, so we're back for round 2. Is this happening a lot today? I've already forgotten the forest entirely. I live in the castle now, where I'm gonna be the king of all the goblins. Except I'm probably the only goblin here. So I'm gonna have to be the king of something else or the king of nothing. But we have a better deck now. We have only weapons. We have a spear, we have a hammer, and a shield, which is my main weapon with the reflect bit. So do we care about this guy? He's not getting through my shield at all. I still don't have a high enough shield number to do a cool big reflect, but this is easy enough. Do you want to come back for round 3 as well, my dude? Or are you out of clones now? Apply shield to pegs and get shield that way. Damage multiplier, better bombs. Let's get the damage multiplier. We are hitting a reasonable amount of pegs with the magnet, at least theoretically. Okay, this should be... well, it's too dense now and it just fell out the map. So this is another interaction where now we have dense, we have the slime castle, and we also have the magnet, which could pull the ball in a good direction or a bad direction. There are 2 directions a ball can go in. Did I say that backwards again? Either way, that hammer you sort of flopped out of the map, but the sphere, which is way more nimble, getting the job done instead. I'm not sure the magnet is going to help a dense ball, because it's going to be way too heavy and just flop out of the map. Right, no more Nightman. He is now Omega dead, and he will not be back anytime soon. Probably, I never know. But instead we have Mr. Handsy, my old... I was gonna call him my old nemesis, but he has never really been a problem. Maybe once or twice. He has actually made it in and slapped my helmet off. The sad thing now is that this is the first time I have a reasonable amount of shields. And if things go as they have, we will just dunk him into pieces before he gets here. That was a pretty bad hammer, all things considered. He should be weak to hammers, isn't that how games normally work? Crush damage, good against walls. Sphere, not so much, unless you can... I mean, it's a very thick wall if you go through the hand as well. It's gonna be a big ask to stab through that. You're gonna have to be the strongest goblin boy in existence. More shields. Okay, refresh. Magnet, you need to step up here now. Where's that magnet man when you need him? He needs to control the magnet. Is he also a god? We have to make a sacrifice to the god of magnets to make it magnet me into the refresh that I want, rather than just 2 random pegs and then leave the map. Hammer, can you end it? So a lot of bounce, a lot of magnets. So which part is stronger here? Is it the magnet? Is it the bounce? Is it the dense? You decide. And I'm lucky enough to find exactly the relic I was looking for, because we already have crits move on their own anyway. But we have the duplication thing, so they stick around, so we are just generating more crits. And now crits also refresh, so we have solved all our refreshing problems. And probably supercharged the magnet a bit more, because we will have the pegs back with every crit we hit. Cool. Haglin, lots of stuff, but nothing I particularly want. I think I will keep the 3 balls I have, and because I am rich, why not just buy most of the shop? You have been good today. He has already removed 2 balls, not entirely for free. It cost me a bit of he bit my arm or whatever. Take up the offer, less health, but get some healing. Don't think we need that. We are going all in on shields, and nothing else qualifies for this glorious build. And we do get round 3 with the Reflecto Man. Let's see if we can get a big reflect now then, because the dream would be to just hit him, reflect back to me, and then kill him with that reflect. That would be cool. Don't know if I can do that though. We are damaging him with our mantle now as well. We have the multiplier. We are likely to hit him a lot harder than last time. And I still only have 18 shields. Do a bit of hammering and he's very low. Let's just sphere him, whatever. We're gonna have to come back to bigger reflects at some point. But we will get some loot. Bold orb qualifies as a weapon, I assume. Now that's a good one. When we apply a positive effect, we get just one more for free. So every bulwark gain is one extra bulwark. So we have one more piece to an actual working bulwark build. And for the boss, we start with the bulwark ball, amazing. Up to 28. It's not gonna be the biggest reflect still, but it's something, right? She didn't even attack me, right? She painted up some dudes on the wall. Are they also victims of the Crucible? Like whatever came in here and didn't have a good time? Probably that wasn't a goblin because they look like knights. So the knights that failed the training, or that got slain by me maybe, are her victims in the paintings, and they are just here to remove pegs and then slap me. To punish me for my sins. Still, all I want is just some more shields. It's really... I haven't found that many things today. Usually they tend to be not that rare. The relics I find a bit more rare than the balls, but we only have one bulwark ball as well. Maybe if we can get multi-ball or something, we could spool it up with that. We should get a good relic out of the boss. But then we need just like 40 haglins in the mines. And you can sell me all the relics I need, because I still have a decent amount of cash. I spunked it all on a lot of garbage from haglin now, but we might make it back. Magnet is also... this is a perfect example of magnet shenanigans, where it just rolls along the bottom of that paintbrush. Every single shot is the same, if I throw it in the middle anyway. Can I reflect down the paintings? I can, so technically I don't have to care about them, but again, I don't really have enough shields to just get them dunked immediately. And the dead pegs means every ball shot is... this boss always takes 1,000 years for me. Probably because I ignore the paintings, like I know that's exactly why I have less pegs. But I'm also thinking I have a build where I should be able to just... with a few bombs and the reflect, they will take care of themselves. And even if they don't, the damage they do is not enough for me to really worry about. But maybe it would be more effective to target them first. Yeah, we're not gonna get a reflect kill here. We don't have anywhere near enough shields. But we're doing fine. Taking barely any damage. We have enough shields to live by. This just damage is awful with these dead pegs. Hammer. Sort it out. Boom. The smallest hammer throw in the universe. Another shield ball, sure. Invest in that ball immediately. Throw in all the money I have. Squirrels. Curse. Dents. Wait, we can get double dents on that ball now. How is that going to work? Let's just dents it up. With the bouncy, magnety, double dense boy, I have no idea what's gonna happen now. And we also have a decent chunk of bombs to really speed up the balls. We just need to do the science to figure out how all these things interact. And if you are as intrigued by the science behind various gimmick builds in Peglin as I am, hit the subscribe button and join the community for more of this. My dense ball is doing well though. That hammer is fairly strong. It's nice to have overflow as well, it's just always useful. Because so far it seems that the bounce stuff and it has been stronger than the dense, because the dense ball had movement at some point. But some of the balls that are not dense by default have not been as quick to just run out the map. Except for that one. That ran out immediately, tried to magnet to a few pegs, had no chance, and just flopped out. Take a minecart to the face. Ask the tankiest goblin who has ever entered these mines. Come at me. A surprise boss time. Okay, this is where dense likely to be a problem. So this is a good test. You're going to struggle. Like Bold Robe, you can barely fire here at all. He will just flop out immediately. Maybe go through one peg or something. Magnet, actually useful here. Clearly helped that ball go somewhere. I'm still not sure if it's a double dense ball or just a dense ball. but it didn't really have any trajectory at all, did it? And the sphere, which is just a single dense ball. So is the hammer worse than these balls? All of them are awful here. Hammer? I would say that's on par with Bold Orb. So is Bold Orb then double dense by default? Relics are saving me here though, because we are spawning all these crits that are also refreshes. And without them I would just kind of have this very bottom section of the map to work with, and I would have been dead. Getting the shields, we're getting some reflect damage. Honestly working quite well. Magnet, excellent choice if you have dense balls. And bounce as well, I guess. We need something to counteract the dense, because some maps you would just not be able to do. It's funny that you get some boss relics assuming, well, these are all going to be great, but no, if you use them wrong, they will destroy whatever build you brought, they will ruin your day, and you will end up crucified by your balls in the Crucible, as is how things go around here. Another hammer, create shield, gain bulwark. I need to try that at some point, but all orbs have persist. That means I can actually stay on the shield balls and bring up my shields to a relevant point, hopefully. Already a lot better just with this ball that generates a lot more shields than the other. 31 already. We can maybe start to gain some reflect kills again, because it's been a while. I got lucky early on when I had very low shields, but now we're fighting dudes with over 1,000 health. We're going to need bigger numbers. But it seems doable at least. 270, not amazing. Need way more than that for this to be an interesting, cool build. Right now it's a build. It does a thing. It adds some extra damage. But it's not really strong enough in the current setup to just be able to beat everything in the game. I'm also wondering if there are any problems if I set up a build that had no damage outside of just reflecting damage, because surely something would go horribly wrong with that. But that is something we need to hand over to the science man. Now this is a better map for hitting pegs. We start with the hammer though, so maybe can we dunk through all of these dudes? Damage is not super high, because we don't really have anything to boost it other than the orb itself, very strong. And enough magnets. The magnet has run out of use by now, I guess, with bombs and stuff. Too many bombs to even care about the ball. It happens way too much. It's kind of funny, but now that we get like 3k damage on that ball, it could just shoot through an entire line of goblins on its own. But nope, one goblin is all it needs. So on the lower side of the Crucible, it kind of feels like you need to find the relic that reduces bomb damage by a lot if you want your build to shine. Else, some maps just have enough bombs that whatever build you bring, it doesn't matter. It's never gonna get to fire. I had that with the Ghost a lot as well, but the hammer has really been on par with that. Now we have shields, but he's not gonna hit me, so... This is not what I expected with a reflect damage build, but... Deal damage for every bulwark you have. This is a combo with the bulwark generation. We could again use... I have seen way more bulwark in builds than I have now, so we can surely make that ball super huge in some other kind of way also. But for now, this is what we have. The reflect versus the big old Peglin, the tallest goblin in the entire universe. Now we can stab him with our mantle, which is nice. But here, I should be able to generate a decent amount of shields. Let's give the hammer one try at least. We can maybe break some of the tiny goblins on the way. And then we can just reflect this dude, because he's gonna keep shooting. He has his own... Yeah, he has his own bolt door. But I need so much more shields to... Well, one-shot him is maybe ambitious, but... In a couple of shots, if I keep generating shields, maybe it would be fine. But then I need to actually use only the shield balls. Because as I'm falling behind every turn, he's buffing, he's throwing his rocks. I'm generating some shields. I really need a refresh. Okay, I was gonna say the magnet just dragged me out of the map there. But it changed his mind, dragged me back in. Very nice. Some bombs, some mantle damage. I mean, this is fine. We shouldn't have any problem making it through this. But I need to work on the build. Or get luckier finding the correct pieces to make the build work. Either way, I'm enjoying the fact that you can do so many things in this game. Like, it's not an infinite amount of builds, but there sure are many, and they combo in interesting ways. Do you have any favorites so far, or is everyone's favorite just the million bombs? The bounce thing was fun as well, and I'm gonna do a custom run with that, with the kinetic force, another protector orb, nice. Bombs create more bombs, or every shot is a crit. I don't think I'm gonna go below 50% health, but I also really don't need the bombs. They make my hammer look bad. Orb fence. I don't know if we will get to use that. Okay, this is another map where the magnet is just wild. It magnets to the roof, goes through that, and then it just slides out. And at the bottom of this mushroom can also be a little bit weird, but yeah, like that. Thankfully we have other things going on in the build. We don't need to fully rely on just the magnet ruining my day. I'm generating also now enough shields that we are probably fine. These mushroom and slime combo gangs can be way worse than they seem though. Nice to see all the mushrooms just snipe themselves down, very cool. A triple reflect kill in one turn. That has to be a record, right? But they buff very quickly if you let the mushrooms live. So on higher crucibles, this is actually quite a dangerous level. Maybe the combined fact that you seem to, or I seem to have a harder time hitting loads of pegs here, so it usually takes longer than many other maps. But this time was fine. Should we bring a bouncy ball also? Because we have the double dense. Well, only one orb is double dense, technically. But we have bounce, dense, and then we add bounce again. What's gonna happen? Who knows? I do have a reasonable amount of cash, so maybe we should visit Haglin. Reduce self-damage, the boots that make me immune to fire. Do we just get rid of this ball and try to do reflect only with the sphere? Sure, one more refresh could be good as well. Do we need it? No, we have all the... We're generating infinite crits basically, so we should be fine. Sheath, cash, refresh sword. Maybe we just get rid of another ball. What don't I need? A hammer? Okay, we've removed all the weapons. It's now shield only. Although one of those shield balls can do damage at least. But I'm trying to fine-tune the build a little bit before the boss. Which is also... I never know if that's just an insane way to approach things. You alter the build drastically just before the boss. But the thing here now is that we have 3 balls that generate shields. Only one of them does damage, so we should be able to ramp up shields fairly well. And then we have the orb fence for maybe a big hit at the end. It might not be big enough, because I'm thinking the boss with the 4 squares, they also buff, and there's 4 of them, so they have a reasonably consistent damage output, meaning that I might not be able to generate anywhere near the amount of shields I want. But this is the build we have. This is what I'm gonna go in with. Orb fence. You don't want to be out first. Buckle orb. Really needed multi-ball or just more relics for shield generation. It's basically the mask and the balls and nothing else. So this can definitely be improved a lot. But if it's this good, even when it's a bad, mediocre version of the build, surely this can work on higher levels also. Square boys. I'm gonna get over 100 at least. Nice. Protector clearly is the one you want to use for stuff like this though. Deal no damage, get big shield, watch the enemies. Slam their foreheads into your shield and fall over. Okay, we can get 200 maybe. I have maxed that out before, so 200 is not bad. Definitely a useful amount of shields. Reflecting a bit more or a bit less than 1000 damage is that they will not die in one hit, but they will die in just a few. You can stab him 1000 times with the mantle of pain. Generate some more shields. So I need one more turn to get the reflect kills here, right? Because the last square boy, very tanky. You just get the protector orbs. We can guarantee that we at least end the run on a reflect kill, which is cool. We get to flex our build, and he's gone. Very nice. Ripostal service, definitely my favorite post service in this universe. If you like the reflect build, you might also enjoy a bomb build I did recently. It's 100% bombs, no other damage whatsoever. Surely nothing could ever go wrong with that. Thank you for watching.